my visits to the dentist office throughout the course of my life, I've always been sort of like, wait until something really bad happens and then go get it all fixed and then wait 3 more years and do the same thing. So I was researching, and believe it or not, on social media, Facebook, and I don't really have that tool, but my wife does. So I was researching, and I said I need a really good dentist, and I want someone that has a great bedside manner, and great reputation, all that kind of stuff. So I did quite a bit of research online, and your name just kept showing up. And because of my background, I'm able to kind of decipher between sort of like fake reviews and all that kind of, I can kind of filter through that kind of stuff. And especially on social media, your name came up quite a bit. Like when we would ask, like, does anyone know a good dentist and all that stuff. Surprisingly, I didn't realize you were here, I guess over the years, because this is only 4 or 5 miles from my house. So that's when I gave you guys a call. But it was mostly through your online reputation and what other customers had to say about you. And then I went to your website, of course, and all that stuff. There's a lot of local little networks online, like within Facebook, there's a lot of communities, right? Like, so there's the Milton Tea Society, there's all these other things that you can kind of go ping, hey, I need a roofer, I need this. And people also ask about doctors and dentists and stuff like that. And, that also helped. But yeah, that really made it easy for me to kind of try to call you guys and try to get in here. I was obviously having a number of issues at the time, so I wanted to be really picky and find sort of like my next dentist, hopefully my only dentist. That's what I think I found here. So I had a variety of different treatments as we started. I had basically come in here initially because I had that old bridge. There was an old sports injury and I lost a tooth when I was young. That bridge had kind of gone away and I really hadn't taken care of the teeth around it. So it was time to kind of like redo it basically. And so I was nervous about that. And through your process, of course, the consultation, I'm also a little bit of a technology person. So I pay attention to like the equipment you have in the office, and that may seem kind of silly, but that's just little things that I noticed, little nuancy things that are important to me. Your staff is unbelievable. I'm very impressed with how helpful they are and how easy, all of that has been great. But, after a treatment, I always feel like I exit here knowing what to expect post-treatment, and it's never, ever once hurt nearly as bad as I was always prepared for it to hurt. And in fact, I would say there's almost been no pain with any of my treatments. And I think I've gone through a decent amount of stuff. So I always feel very positive leaving here, and I always feel like I've got a much better handle on my oral health going into my, mid-years here. I would say the cleanings I've had here are the most extensive I've ever had. And I actually joked with my family because they've started to come to you as well now. And they're all over the country now with the different schools and stuff. But I'm like, your first assessment, just be prepared. It's gonna be there a little while. It's a very deep and thorough assessment. And I think that was great. I mean, I come from the healthcare industry in a previous life, not currently, but a previous life. So the thoroughness, the bedside manner, really the importance of answering questions. I've never felt rushed to get out of here or that you have another patient. I know you do have other patients, but I always feel like when I'm talking to you, I'm the patient you're worried about. And you're always very busy, of course, but never felt rushed. And I think all of those things are great, and the cleanings are just as extensive. I mean, your staff, again, the hygienist and all of them do such an amazing job. I feel much better about where I'm at with my teeth. I was going through some challenges with my dad a couple years ago, and he was very sick, and I was traveling, and that was right around the same time I started seeing you. So there were a couple scenarios where I was living in Ohio for like a month, and then of course something would happen with one of my teeth or something that we were treating, and I always felt like I could call here, find a remedy for it temporarily. You guys are always available. I get posts. I mean, you guys always call me afterwards. I get texts to make sure that I know when my next appointments are. And the sensitivity to someone that's going through a fairly extensive procedure. I mean, I think when you're leaving, there's some sensitivity around that. I always felt, to some degree, I've never felt embarrassed because I put myself in and let myself get to the situation. And your staff is incredible at that. I like the decorations. It's funny. The funny thing that we were talking about, they're kind of calming when I come in. I know I might be going to do a procedure or something like that, but it is kind of calming. It's relaxing. They're kind of cool and hip. And of course, I do really like, not to sound too cliche or too corny, but I feel like I've become friends with your guys' team a little bit and stuff like that. So I feel when I come here, there's not as much anxiety. There's not as any of those types of things because I feel like everyone, I know everybody now, and at least I've met most, I think, and I feel very comfortable in the environment. It doesn't feel like a doctor's office or a dentist's office setting to me. I feel it's more like I'm going to visit a friend or someone's going to help me out, or like someone that I know, someone that I trust. So I don't have the same level of anxiety or anything like that coming to the facility. Believe it or not, I'm a little bit of an outdoorsy guy, so I actually really like the natural light. I could see the street right from your office, and when I'm laying down, I don't know. I guess I kind of like that. I like to be able to see the outside. It's very bright, and I actually like that probably the most of all those little perks that you offer.